everyone. Welcome to Saib webinar series about executive coaching. I know a lot of you are either in the process of becoming a CXO or at least aspiring to be a CXO and wondering how can I do that. You might have a lot of doubts on how can I manage these business sensibility, or how can I tell the financial story in a right way. So these are the things which we are going to cover, apart from many other things which takes you from the journey of an engineer to a CXO. um, to have that journey with us, we have our expert um, of executive coaching, John C. George, the leadership coach, on the session with me. So thank you very much for being on the live session.
Absolute
Um,
pleasure.
Hi, John C. Over to you.
Hi, a very, very warm welcome to each one of you. So, how many of you would like to fast track your journey to senior leadership roles? Yeah, I'm sure many of you would like to do that. So, why is it important and what is the situation out there is something which we need to explore. So, can we have the slide on, please?
Yes, yes. Here we go.
Uh, can you go to the first slide? It is showing the last slide. Yeah. So we will talk about how executive coaching transforms tech leaders into boardroom influencers. Next slide. So Satya, you want to talk about what's happening?
Yeah, see, the majority of the engineers, right, or even the analysts or architects, 70% of the time, or 60 to 70% of the time, believe that they stayed at that for a long time. So you become an engineer or senior engineer and reach a stage of manager or architect or certain level. After that, the growth seems to be like plateaued at one place. That was an observation. It's not me telling, but it is a survey result which is telling. And second part is there are sometimes engineers struggle to uh, move on to the leadership positions. There's a problem with the transition. How can I manage uh, a leadership role? I'm good at technical leadership, but I do not know how to manage people, how to manage business. That's where the point is. That is again a insight coming from Gartner's 2024 Talent Insights
Yeah.
to start with.
Okay.
That's a problem in the current
Sure.
area.
So where is it? What's the root cause of some of this? Is what I we will explore now. So the first one is the invisibility problem. That is not speaking up when required. There will be meetings that will happen, there are conferences that you will be there, there are situations with the client you will be part of, but are you speaking up when required, or are you quiet and letting someone else talk? So invisibility problem is one challenge some of the mid level career professionals face.
Yeah,
Next.
and this is something I observe even with my team, right? So most of this time, either we are on virtual meetings or on physical meetings. Some people expects that okay, let the other person talk, then I will add something, and another people think okay, I do have a great idea, but let me hear everybody out. By the time you keep thinking, and the time is already passed, and you are seen as a person simply listening but not contributing. If you're not contributing, people think that you do not have any idea.
Yeah,
Even though you have all the great ideas, you have the best idea in the world, which can actually transform the entire company, since you never told it, you will be seen as a person with no ideas or even sometimes dumb. That's
absolutely.
not true.
Absolutely. Next slide. The second type of invisibility problem is this: the leadership, they can see the dashboard, but they can't see the engine. Most of the people work in the background, and the leadership team will not know who has worked in the background. And hence, they do not know the people, and that is an opportunity missed for many of the people who work in the background.
Yeah, this is another true sense, right? The In the practical sense, what happens is there are very expert engineers who make the beautiful product, and they are the people who work day in day out. They work sometimes even 18 hours, but they are not the people who actually tell about what exactly they did. But there is this one guy or a girl can actually showcase this what the work done by these multiple people and explain it very well. That person who have done it will be the leader, but not the engineer. It seems so unfair, yes or no?
Yes,
But the challenge here is if you're not telling, how do they know that who did it, what? Most cases, sometimes engineers don't even tell to their own managers that they did. What are the what you can say tiny and very important things what they have done. If you haven't given an opportunity for manager to showcase your talent, manager also will not appreciate you. So that's the part I think you are trying to tell. What is being told boldly in the voiced out are the things leadership sees it. They will not be aware of what is running in the engine all the engineers are doing.
absolutely. The third is waiting to be invited instead of leading conversations. So, Satya already briefly mentioned that there are situations where you have that opportunity to speak up, you have that opportunity to present, but you do not lead the conversation. There are
Exactly.
times when you have opportunity to lead a program or a project, but you take a back seat. So that is another challenge mid-career professionals face, or that is something mid-career professionals do, which makes them invisible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is again about the guilt and self doubt. At certain cases, even limited confidence on picking it up. There are three things, right? So there is a table going on. There is a round table discussion happening, and you have a point. You are the person have to raise the hand as much up so that everybody sees that you have a point to make. If you don't, then again the same thing what we discussed. Um, you're expecting somebody to invite you. No, please understand. We are living in a very selfish or organizations or business. They are here to do their own promotions, not your promotion. So you have to do your own work of talking about your points. Don't expect that your peers are going to tell about him and go tell your idea. It's not going to work like that.
Yep. So the next challenge is the influence problem. Now we have an amazing dashboard, but if the dashboard is built in a manner which is complicated to understand, that is not going to give the decision makers the information required to take decisions, and then you are not able to influence the decision makers. So a complicated dashboard or data presented in a manner which is complicated, not simplified, that's also a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Too many numbers and can't make any sense of it. Imagine you're telling about this many vulnerability, that many vulnerabilities, and these many risks. The CI will ask, okay, are we doing better than last month? Are we really in a situation where you want me to take some action? See the perspective what the CIO is looking at. So
Hmm.
they are interested to know, do you want me to do anything with this data? What you told me. Second question is that is it really risky that I should be worried? Or is it something you are just giving me an update? See,
Hmm.
all the three aspects are nothing to do about your numbers. It's about the trend, it's about the insight, it's about the action you are expecting the leaders to take. So, actually, the dashboard should be actionable, it should be impactful, and you should only speak about what is expected out of the leaders. Details, leave it as a bottom. With, in case they want to double click, this is available here, right? That's the way you should be, so that you are speaking to the business in the business sense.
Yes, actionable insights.
Actionable insights
Yeah,
and outcome based dashboards. That is what is important.
yeah. In today's world, Work happens faster, work gets done faster if you have a good relationship with people in the organization. Relationship building is very important, and a lot of people out there, they do not try to build that trust and relationship with the colleagues, with the stakeholders involved, and that affects the growth in the organization, because when these relationships are not built, it doesn't seem like they are working as a team. And when these relationships are not built with the higher ups, they won't even know who you are as a person, and that will affect your promotion. So key relationships with key people, with key stakeholders, is very important for one's career growth.
Yeah, yeah. And another challenge, or what I observe here is, we build relations for sake of handshake. Just do a handshake, right? They might have handshaked with 100 people. Do they even remember who you are, right? So again, building that relationship, the purpose of doing that connect with the purpose of building a relationship takes its own efforts and depth, right?
Yeah.
You need to really make it a connect. The person should remember, yes, I spoke with Satya, I spoke with these things, and there is some relationship you are able to make, or build, right?
Mm,
Most cases what I observe is people come and handshake with 100 people, think that, okay, I made 100 connections today. Are they really connections? Or are you like a guest in the wedding reception? You never know whom you met, right? So we need to make that impactful discussion, and also stakeholders, people. I mean, if you are going to a certain position, you should know who is actually going to impact the decision of certain activity. Let's say you are looking for budget. Who is the decision maker for the budget? Who is influencing the budget? That could be one. Or you are actually implementing a project. Who will be actually implementing the project, and who will actually help you
mm,
in escalations? These are all the stakeholders. You should do a stakeholder analysis and then build relationship, right? So these two things are really challenging in mid segment engineers or managers, and they stuck there, right? Yeah, I spoke with them, I told whatever is expected. It's not that what you expected. You need to also know what they need from you. What's your leverage?
yeah.
What is the common goal?
And also, when we talk about stakeholders, we have the positive, negative, neutral stakeholders, and we need to learn how to work with these individuals.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is very important. And knowing the stakeholders is the great task the leaders must do. And you should start thinking like a leader, no matter whatever the job you're doing, and work about that stakeholders. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the next influence problem, lack of the right language to be used for return of investments, lack of the right language for the risks that are involved, and lack of the right language to influence the respective business heads. Every business head looks at what is important for them, and if you are not able to address to their needs, address to what they want to be implemented in their own business unit, we won't be able to influence them, and hence many of our decisions may not go through, or many of our recommendations may not go through. So the right language to be used in this context is very important.
Yeah, I think that's a today's topic about financial acumen, right? Unless you, yeah, in cybersecurity, this is more complicated, by the way. So, financial impact of a certain risk what we have in a company. Let's say if I don't implement identity access management or provisioning and deprovisioning, what is that? Okay, I can say, yeah. This is a one of the top risks in the cyber risk, and if you don't do it, then it will be exploited. So what? What's the financial impact? So all comes to this financial number. It's very difficult for a cybersecurity professional to equate that to financial number. We understand that, but how do you make that sound business centric? How do you speak about the ROI? You need to think on the angle of what is the value of your goodwill. Can you count, measure? You can't, but you can, you actually think about one or two customers who are regulatory in nature, who might drop or take a contract elsewhere if you don't implement it. You will always have one, right? Pick that customers. Take the MRR, the ARR, annual revenue, what you are getting for these two customers. You say these two customers are paying $2 million in revenue, and they require these two as a their SOC 2 compliance reporting. If I
Mm,
don't do it, these two customers might fly away, which means $4 million is in question. However, I cannot quantify other customers which are in the queue or which are also in might leave, but I cannot tell you the numbers.
mm.
That is more impactful, no?
Yeah.
So you need to think in the angle of how it is going to pinch the pockets, one way. Second is how can you differentiate adding certain things, differentiate your product against competitor product, right? So there was this one of the RFP where we were discussing why should I choose you against other vendor. I'm speaking about my own company. Then we said, they don't have even a certification of so and so. So we follow the quality, we follow the certification, we follow the cyber security. We have these standards. We are complying with so and so, which is actually means we take care of your data and your customers' data very safely, very securely, with a high quality.
Mm,
You understand, right? I'm speaking, I haven't spoken even one term of cybersecurity when I explained this. You might have observed. But that is what convinced him. Yeah, you make sense. You understand? That's how you actually even get new potential customers in speaking business lens. That's the part I'm speaking about, right language versus.
yeah.
That's another way of influencing a business with your, highly technical, highly cybersecurity or that is cybersecurity or technical terms. If you put it in business, people understand.
Yeah. So now let's understand what are the three secrets to fast track your journey to senior leadership roles. So what's the first one? Let's look at it. The first one is to change our mindset. We need to move away from that technical fix mindset to solving for a business problem. What does that mean? We are typically saying, an issue comes up. Let us fix the technical part of it. Let me fix the issue. Let me fix the bug. Or let me create one new feature. But instead of that, can you change the language to let me solve the business problem? So our mindset, our department's mindset itself need to change from a technical fix mindset to solving for a business problem. And the second thing is a lot of time as early career engineers or mid career engineers looking always at getting rewarded, getting somebody appreciating you. If that doesn't happen, you get demotivated. Instead of that, change the mindset to I've done something great and I'm shaping the organizational direction. I've done something great, I'm learning, I'm changing the organizational direction. So change our mindset into this. Anything you want to
Mm.
add? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The first part is something I think we discussed well earlier also. It's about um, not just thinking about what did you do in your engine room or engine itself, but if you start speaking about your car will actually will not stop on the road. That's enough for them. They don't need to know how many bolts and nuts you have added or how many gears you have added or whatever. So I'm speaking in the very layman terms. You
Yeah.
might have done a lot of engineering, right? You might have used this tech or that tech, whatever. They don't understand that, right? But generally, what happens, because you are a technical person, you want to explain. hey man, I use this high tech, so. Everything, whatever you're speaking, is actually kind of a what you can say, out of scope for them to understand. What they understand is like, okay, is my, for example, in the application per se, is the application going faster than required? Is this application, I'm just speaking in a application angle, is it actually going to gain more customers, or am I with this, is it making differentiator? So you speak in those terms, then you are solving a business problem. Or is it actually reducing the cost? Is it reducing the risk? So what are you speaking about is all related to what problem you're solving for the business, rather than what are the technologies or what are the super things you have done. I'm not disregarding any of the things what you have done, but they will listen to your technology, and they actually very interested to know what did you do to achieve it, only when they recognize there is a impact you brought. First
Yeah.
part is to get that part to, so that they start listening to your technical jargon. Don't start with jargon, but start with business first. Uh, I think second one is to, for the peace of mind, just focus that one day or the other day you will actually get rewarded. Just be satisfied that you are actually shaping the business direction, and you should be clear that yes, I am working on a purpose. This is what I'm doing, right? Uh, for the peace of mind, right? Because you will never be rewarded at the time you are looking for. You will be suddenly rewarded when you don't even realize that you have done big deal. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
And my point is also, Satya, that waiting for that reward, waiting
up,
for uh, that external compliment for us to get motivated, we just need to move away. When you want to move
right,
into senior leadership roles, you are lonely at the top.
right,
There is nobody to come and say you did a good job. Okay,
yeah,
so when you want to move into senior leadership role, look at it from that purpose, as you rightly said. How am I changing the organization? What How am I contributing to its growth?
right, absolutely,
The second secret is about having or using business influence code rather than giving a technical message. Whenever you are speaking, always talk about the business impact, and that business impact can help trigger decisions of senior management teams. So move from your technical language into a business impact language, which can trigger decisions, which can help senior management team take decisions. So let's see an example of that. So here the example is, in a regular situation, you might say, we need 2 crore to update our endpoint protection system. But how about we change that language to, our endpoint setup exposes us to ransomware risk that could cause 3 to 5 days of downtime, an estimated 6 to 8 crore in revenue loss. This 2 crore investment secures business continuity, reduces regulatory risk, and safeguards brand trust. So you're talking business language now. So by using this kind of a language, you're in fact moving away from a cost center to a business protected department to a business enabler department. A lot of times, the technology professionals and all the internal organizations feel that I'm a cost center. I'm always looked at as a cost center. So
mm,
change your language so that people think that you are a business enabler.
makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah, one more example around that. We need to migrate workloads to a multi cloud setup and automated provisioning. So instead of that, an example is, by optimizing our cloud architecture, we can reduce infrastructure costs by 20%, accelerate product deployment cycles by 40%, and improve uptime from 99.5% to 99.95%. This directly contributes to faster revenue realization and better customer satisfaction. So, again, from a tech center to a department driving profitability. a technical person to somebody who talks business language. That's what you should be looking at.
Absolutely. I think always touch the top line or bottom line. That's it. Are you hitting the profits or increasing their profits or reducing the risk so that you touch higher? Second is how are you cutting the cost? I think most of the cases, these are the two aspects which you should target on every time whenever we are making impact. Most cases, what we land in is we are landing in the mid segment, right? So I improved the efficiency by so and so. I improved the productivity. Actually, you are somewhere there already, by having that number of efficiency and productivity, you are already in the line of that. Only small dot you need to draw. How is that actually improving the overall revenue or actually our overall uptime of the entire system? I think you need to take that extra mile to have that business impactful communication. That's what differentiate a leader from an engineer or an architect. That's how you need to think through. Makes sense. Very well said, Johnsy.
And the third secret is the executive presence shift that you need to bring about. You can't influence someone if you don't speak and present confidently. I repeat, you can't influence your leadership team if you don't speak and present confidently. So let's look at the executive presence. There are three. Okay, so if you look at executive presence, it's your ability to inspire confidence in others that you can deliver results. I repeat, your ability to inspire confidence in others that you can deliver results. That's what executive presence is. So you walk into a room, you may not be the senior most person in the room, but you carry that aura, and everybody looks at you and say, hey, you know what, this person has come, the problems will be solved. And that person may not be even the senior most person in the room. So rest of the people have that confidence that you can deliver the results, and that unseen thing is what we call as the executive presence. So there are three pillars to executive presence. The first one is gravitas, how you act in different contexts. The second is communication, what you speak and how you speak. And the third pillar is appearance, how you look and how you are perceived by others. So let's dig a little deeper into this. Gravitas. Having gravitas at work means you are taken seriously. Your contributions are considered important and you are trusted and respected. I repeat, having gravitas at work means you are taken seriously. Your contributions are considered important and you are trusted and respected. Next slide. So there are six key elements which I would like you to be aware of if you want to build that gravitas. The first one is being more empathetic, leading with empathy. You should be able to articulate the other person's mind, other person's emotions as if you are you are feeling that. That's what empathy is all about. The second is maintaining calmness in high pressure situation. Almost every day for senior management team would be a high pressure situation. So how do you maintain calmness in such an environment? And maintaining that calmness adds to your gravitas, which in turn will add to your executive presence. The third is making faster decisions. Nobody likes leaders who don't take decisions. If you don't take decisions, sit on decisions, nobody likes that. You have to either say, move forward this way, or no, nothing is going to happen. But take decisions, make it faster. The fourth, which will add to your gravitas and your executive presence, is speaking the truth and demonstrating integrity. If you lose trust once, then it is extremely difficult to build that back again. So, speaking the truth, demonstrating integrity is important. Then speak with authority and conviction. If you want to speak with authority and conviction, you need to have knowledge, and that knowledge needs to be built. And it's not just about bookish knowledge, it is about knowledge which you gain from networking with others. So that will add a lot more to your knowledge. And the last but not the least is humility and likability. As a leader, you need to be humble and you need to be likable. People like to work with people they like. I repeat, people like to work with people they like. So humility and likability is important part of gravitas.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things told about. I just want to add a few things.
Yes, please.
The key part is the decision making, according to me. This is what they say, right? They're bold leaders. They've taken this step in spite of various things, right? Um, so most times, I believe, apart from all others, empathy is another one, which is very difficult to exhibit or follow. Uh, that's the complicated one out of all, and decision making is another one. Um, Speaking with authority, some people do it very easily. Um, but when you are speaking with authority, how can you humble? When do you be humble, right? How can you create a what we can say layer of difference? When to be humble, when to speak with authority? How do you make sure you are approachable? So all comes in one these two lines. Actually speaking, it looks like two parallels you are drawing, but you need to exhibit both the qualities, right? Some may be good in some of these, not necessarily all six are exhibited at certain levels. You might be drawing very high on, it might be highly empathetic leader, highly humble, um, and you might be slow in faster decision making,
Hmm?
right? So there are cases like that, right? But point what we are trying to do is, as much as possible, you should be clear in the way saying, even if you are not deciding, but everybody should know that you are actually thinking.
Mm.
They should know that you are considering these options and they are considering their opinions. That also matters when we are speaking about areas. So, and coming to the calmness, right? So this is one thing which is debated in various business schools, right? Is it better to be cool Dhoni or hot Virat Kohli, right? Both are great leaders, right? So, but still, what they are doing, they are performing at high level. How they are drawing the energies from the others and making sure that the entire team is listening to them. They might have other qualities to compensate for the losing of calm if needed, right? And when you are maintaining calm, whereas others are furious, you should have shouted, "Why are you calm?" You understand, right? So these are all dilemmas a leader has to pass through. So I think maturity comes in when you are able to manage a situation not in your personal way. Instead, you start working along with the team.
Mm.
And that's the difference in me that calmness comes in. If you believe if the situation is like that and you've given a reasoning why you are acting a certain way, and things will be in a you will be still seen as a executive. That's my take there, right? Yeah. One example I can quote is that is 2008, I guess, there was no bonuses paid. Some people have been no bonuses, no increments, nothing. I think that might be the situation even today, but just telling about an incident where my CIO has to tell everyone, guys, this year, no increments, nothing. Just stay where you are. That's the story he has to tell to everyone,
Mm.
right? Instead of dilly-dallying, he just called everyone when he got to know first, explained that this is the situation entire world is going through, and we are going through too. And immediately there was sympathies came, saying, "Thank you for telling us." Or we also heard, we also wanted to know what is going to happen with us.
Mm.
That's a genuinity of when you go with that type of convention and speak with convention in the interest of team. That's when you get respected. Okay, I hope I added some additional comments to that. Uh,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay.
The next pillar is the communication. What you speak and how you speak. We just spoke about the words part of it till now. So it is said that words contribute to 7 percentage of influential communication. 38 percentage of influential communication is contributed by the tone of voice. In fact, you can move to the next slide. And 55 percentage of influential communication is because of the body language. So for example, i can I can say something like this: communication is the second pillar of executive presence. Communication is very important. Words contribute to 7 percentage of communication. Tone of voice contribute to 38 percentage of communication. Oh, I think I'm already sleepy. Yeah. So you can be like that, or you use your body language, tone of voice, and that contributes to influential communication.
Makes sense.
The next element is the body posture. Body posture is crucial as it communicates confidence, authority, and engagement, shaping how others perceive you. So it's an image of the same person with four different body postures, and you can see that the rightmost image demonstrates confidence. So when you are sitting in a meeting, in a conference room, or on a one-on-one meeting, or at a dinner meeting, what's the body posture you have? And what does that communicate to other people? That is important. So the body posture, it you should not be, with shoulder drooping, um, and having a body posture where you sit like this, right? That all is like a closed minded approach, is something that other people will perceive you. Sometimes you may not feel that, but the other person perceives it that way. We might be very relaxed and sitting, but the other person perceives it like that, and these perceptions is what they carry as reality. So body posture is very important. The third element is appearance. We form an opinion about a person even before they speak, purely on the basis of how they are dressed and groomed. It has nothing to do with the features you are born with. So I typically take the example of an interviewer and an interviewee. So the candidate walks in shabbily dressed, or they have not groomed themselves well. So the what is going through the interviewer's mind is, hey, this person looks very shabby, didn't take time to groom himself herself. So, and that is a disrespect for me, disrespect to the organization. That's the way they are perceiving. Now, that candidate will have to work extra hard to prove that he or she is the right person for that role. While on the other side, if you dress well, you've groomed well, and you walk into the interview with head held high, then the interviewer will have to really dig deeper to find out what are things you might be doing wrong. Okay, so that is why grooming is important. That is why dressing is important. And in today's world, people sometimes ask, Steve Jobs was dressed like that. Mark Zuckerberg wears a t-shirt. So there's only one response to that. When you become a Steve Jobs and when you become a Mark Zuckerberg, you might be you might be able to afford those kind of an outfit. But in the context you are in, you may have to influence others through your power dressing. And also the other thing which I say is that, when these gentlemen, when they visit, let's say, the United States of America president, would they be in a t-shirt? Think about that. Okay. Next slide. So if you look at it, how many of you realize that there's a lot to learn for you to move into a leadership role. There's a lot to unlearn, and there is a lot to learn when you want to move into a leadership role. Next slide. So Pankaj Pofle was one of my coaches. He was in the general manager kind of a role. Going through a coaching program with me, it helped him in his stakeholder management skills, strategic thinking skills, and he got promoted as a CTO. And in another 2 years' time, he got promoted as the CIO of HSBC Insurance in Singapore. And that's the power coaching can bring to individuals. Next slide. Another example is of Shivakumar Hosangadi. He says, coaching improved my executive presence and presentation skills. And if you look at the third stanza, it says, it helped me improve conflict management on the work front. Next slide. Ishita Priyadarshini, part of India UX lead Google, now is with Microsoft. She said that she gained more confidence and was able to take tougher decisions because of coaching program. Next slide. Gaurav Rishi, based out of the US, he was a senior manager. He became an associate director and a director in just 2 years' time, going through the coaching program. So people are able to transform themselves to the next level roles because of the leadership coaching. Next slide. So how does executive coaching helps? The first one, it helps identify the blind spots that limit leadership growth. There are things which are not visible to us, and a coach will help you identify what are some of the blind spots which you have, which will limit the leadership growth. Next is to help you build skills to influence without authority, be it communication skills, body language. You need to develop those skills. Third, it strengthens your executive presence and leadership confidence. Fourth, executive coaching transforms ordinary communication into board level influence. You will learn the art of how to do that. And last but not the least, it will help you develop strategic thinking capability instead of operational and technical thinking. A lot of people are more operational in nature, but executive coaching, it will help you move closer to think for the business and help you develop that strategic thinking capability. Next slide. So what happens if you don't take action today? Today we are living in a very volatile world with a lot of things changing around us very fast, with also because of the artificial intelligence, uh, the presence of artificial intelligence more in the last 2 3 years. You will continue to remain in the same role while others move up. If you don't take action, you can become irrelevant in the organization very fast. And we have we have seen that happening to many people, and they struggle at a certain age then to move up the career ladder. So the earlier you start your journey, the easier it is for you to move into senior leadership roles. And that is why we have designed a program for you. Next slide. So the program is CXO ready from engineer to executive. And I request Satya to talk more about this particular program.
So I think you've already heard about there are various things which it requires improvements, and you might have observed that we discussed various activities which you might require to do to become an executive. Um, and make yourself ready to go there, right? So to do that, what we have done is this is actually a collaborative exercise between CSA Bangalore and Coach Jansi, to offer you a course which actually fits in for the folks coming from tech or cyber, to help you grow into the executive path. So I think we discussed some of these elements already, which is about the leadership ladder in the age of AI, and how do you manage the leadership challenges what people face, and there are certain areas where you haven't understood, and there are also global directions coming up which you want to address, and there are influential versus problem solving. There is a, you might be a problem solver today, but you want to be an influencer in the future, or you're already an influencer but you want to be seen as an executive. So those are the areas where this training is going to achieve. And who is involved? I think whoever is aspiring to become a CXO, I think all levels, all the way from engineers to the tech leads to senior managers, it's applicable. Also women who are oriented to become senior leaders, that's also available for them. Also this is very much useful. What are the outcomes we are looking into? I think we discussed a little bits on, we understood there are blind spots in the communication gap. As an individual, you will get to know what are your spots in your strategic communication. You will be able to um, upskill yourself onto that area. And how do you transform your communication from tech to business communication? Again, you will be spotting your own gaps, and then we'll help you understand through the you know um, personal case study based engagements and workshops. With that, you will be learning about all these skills, like whether it could be a stakeholder engagement, or how do you take decisions in the right way, how do you be a better leader, showcase your executive presence. All these areas will be tested, or what you can say, validated with peers as well as coaches, where you learn all these skills, right? So we do have the curriculum to address all this in a modular way for all the elements what we just discussed. I don't want to just read you all that, but the idea here is we create case based discussions and the examples of how you will handle it. We give a case and then you will review and discuss with other peers. And then there are coaches, me and John C. John C is a certified coach, and we will make sure that you are understanding your own areas of improvement or strengths. Even if it is strength, then how can we take it to the next level? So that's something we will do it with discussions in all these areas. Also, like workshops and tabletop exercises and capstone projects to reach it there. So there are multiple modules to do that. So how is it different? As we just mentioned, you are getting a certified coach and and the experienced leader to coach you. And we are, if there is a necessity, then we are also planning to have actually relevant case studies directly coming from the global CXOs, and get them there for discussion so that your learning is more relevant. What happens in this scenario, right? Why they have taken a decision of buying something or taking over something, etc. Right? So there are various things which we are planning in here, which includes the executive career coaching, connections with leaders, and also how do you manage cross-functional skill development, right? That is what the uniqueness here. Idea here is to create multi-week exercises. So the program will have 1 week a session, learning session and exercises, followed by some case studies and labs for with which you will work with the people and come back as an assignment. So that's the way it will work, and we are planning to have cohort based discussions, and then there will be a certification given by CSC Bangalore and Coach John C in the end of the session. And course details, we are coming back, will come back to you on the course details and the future discussions. If you are interested, here is the QR code, just scan it and express your interest. We will come back to you. One of us will be on the call to explain what the program is, and based on that you can take a call, right? With that, I think I'm done with the presentation. John C, you have any last closing thoughts?
So move from a tech mindset to a business impact mindset. That is key for you to move into senior leadership role. That's a key message I want to share.
Thank you, John C. I think that was a wonderful session we had. Team, if you have any questions, please write to us on support at the rate csabangalorechapter.com. And we have given you a QR code. If you haven't got it, then please visit csabangalorechapter.com, where you can actually register for or show your interest for this program. We are happy to answer your queries you might have. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Bye.